you in a shade, and the comics are your estate. Put a little madness in your life. Come give your mind a cleanse. Tune in with pops and friends. Just turn on your Roku box and then put a little madness in your life. Put a little madness in your life. Yeah, yeah. Put a little madness in your life.
Once upon a modern time in a little cul-de-sac, black characters from myth and rhyme decided to come back. They moved into a cuter house, they bought a boat and car, they got a job, they got a spouse, they're ready to go far. This modern life, with all its strife, is wilder than before. You won't forget the day you met the fables next door. You won't forget the day you met the fables next door.
Woo! I'm big. What's up, Tommy? Is it just me and you today?
It's just you and I. This is our show. We're oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah, hey, I can go get a drink. I got a couple of beers in there that need downed. You guys want to run it? That's fine. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
we
I
should
hit
though.
the
We
I
definitely
hit the remove button too quickly because the last time I played a Kickstarter video. Okay, so true confession time here. You know the wormholes you go, the rabbit holes you go down on YouTube. Sometimes you're sitting there, you're watching a comics video, and off to the side you're like, the cameraman couldn't believe Marsha Brady did this.
Right. And you're like,
So you watch it. And you're like, yeah, that was clickbait, wasn't it?
oh
But
yeah.
then you go to do your show. And you're like, oh, they have a YouTube video up for the trailer. I'll just expand and play it, and I'll just close it up. Well, it finishes up, and what it pops up, but like 9 more videos of child stars and
doing things they shouldn't be doing. Yeah.
things they shouldn't be doing, and people who shouldn't be watching them, and like, what have you been doing, RJ? It's in your queue. I'm like,
Yeah.
Well, that's what the show was about. It's going to be about child stars and the things that they shouldn't be doing.
That's right.
There's one on Netflix right now that I haven't just felt interested in watching, actually. Like, really, Netflix? You're going to have something to say about this? Okay.
Oh yeah.
It's been forever since I've had you guys on.
It has been. Yep. How you been?
Been busy, Roland. Been you know what though? It's a good busy, and it's been. I'm surrounded. I moved out of my little 1-bedroom sublet that I was in because I was surrounded by boxes all the time. The apartment next door came open, so I'm like, look, I can hang my posters. I got curtains. I got desk. I got a TV, a couch, a bed, another bed, a kitchen, and I'm surrounded by boxes.
Yeah.
A lot more boxes.
Yeah, more boxes. Seriously, I don't know how the decompression worked coming out of one room into 6, because it's like, I have no idea where all of this stuff ever was. Not to mention the fact that there's stuff in the garage downstairs that there's no place to put here.
You went from 1 room to 6?
Well, let's see, 1, 2.
And they're all full.
Yeah.
Wow.
4.
And
But
you've already filled them up, huh?
Yeah, absolutely filled them up. And I've got
Well, you
boxes.
took the stuff out of the other boxes, which were boxes inside boxes, and then now there's
Yeah.
And you split those boxes up. You're like, I don't need these 2 things together in this one box, so let me make 2 boxes out of those.
Yeah, and it's like
it's like the TARDIS. It's bigger.
You,
on
you
the
get
inside.
all the little you get all the little toys out, and you start finding shelves to put them on, and it's like the posters are like up on the wall now. So you got this
Hawkeye.
stuff.
Hawkman.
All the stuff I
Hawkeye?
couldn't
I,
all the
yeah.
stuff I couldn't put up anywhere. You know.
Yeah.
I knew it was Hawkman.
Yeah.
Golden Eagle.
It was Hawk something, right? 'Cause
Hawk
the
something.
wings gave it away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Angel.
Angel,
Fly guy.
Angel at Halloween.
Bird Boy.
So yeah,
That's
between
one of my
the
comics,
unpacking
Bird Boy.
and the packing up for everybody else, that's the boxes that I'm really surrounded by. Actually, I've got Exiled, I've got Fiendish, all sitting around me right now. I've got Ghost Story, and then publishing, which is something I don't know. We were doing it when we talked before,
You
Roland.
had
but,
just started. You had just started, and I was like, "Hey, what's going on? That looks like a hardcover."
this is a hardcover. This is the Perfect 10 Artist Edition.
Wow.
Which just finished crowdfunding tonight. So we're going to be fulfilling this very soon to all the backers. And then we're going to modify it just a tiny little bit and jack the price up. So all the crowdfunders got the good deal. And then this is going to be in Walmart and Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And I would dearly, dearly love to put out trade paperbacks, pocketbook sizes, manga sizes, and hardcovers of all the Silverline compendiums.
Let's talk. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely do that.
Yeah. So in Walmart, huh?
Well, Walmart.com. Now, can it be in Walmart?
Online store.
Yes, it
Yeah.
absolutely. But
Yeah.
Close enough.
Sweet. Yeah. Yeah, that's nice, man.
wherever books are sold.
Well,
We got a ton of books.
You probably heard us talk before. Tommy and I talk a lot about this, and sometimes it comes up on our streams as well. Is that one of the biggest problems in comics today is distribution, and now listen. I'm not a Diamond hater, so don't come on here and start. I don't want people accusing me of. They carry our books, right? Retailers carry our books, so I'm not a Diamond hater. The problem is because distribution has changed so much since you and I were kids and buying stuff. We would go to the 7-Elevens, the convenience stores, the grocery stores, and they were a lot of times they were impulse buys. Now they're you have to specifically get in your car and go to a comic shop, and so
you have to know about the industry already.
Yes.
You can't discover it.
So when I say distribution problems, I'm not like pointing the finger at Diamond. I'm like, hey, we got to figure out how do we get our comics in front of a wider audience instead of just the comic shops,
You know what killed that? It wasn't Diamond that killed that.
I was going to say Diamond did.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't the direct market at all. Because if you remember, when the direct market came up, you've got multiple issues, multiple copies of things now. Barcode, no barcode.
Yep.
Guess what? There was simultaneous distribution.
Listen.
You could go to the comic shop or you could go to the store. What killed it was Todd McFarlane's Spawn, because they had one issue with a child abuse story in it, and a grandmother bought it for her grandson at a Walmart and saw what was in it. And when she went to the next board meeting, because her last name was Walton,
oh no,
she said, "Why are we selling this in our stores?" And there's no rating on it. And the people at Walmart were like, well, you know what? We don't have time to go through every single book to make sure that it's quality or meets our standards. So we just won't carry them at all.
Yeah.
And as Walmart goes, so goes, the industry.
Well,
and this is
the
what
early 90s when I worked at Walmart, we had comics were in the store.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, anytime I see somebody, jump on any social media and talk about how bad the code was, I'm like, you know what? The code really wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad thing. It was a safety feature that gave comics a wider distribution net. With that gone, listen. We know, I know, Tommy knows, we know. You can look at a comic book often and say, yeah, I'm not going to let my kid read that, right? The greater audience at large has no clue. And you know what? Like you said, they said at Walmart, they don't have time because they don't care. They're not going to go, I'm going to take little Johnny into a comic shop and I'm going to peruse the comics just to see which one is okay for him. No, they're just not going to take little Johnny to the comic shop. They're going to go do something else. They're going to go get him a video game that has ratings. All of the video games have ratings.
Yes.
So
I fought for ratings for years. and oh, I made people mad because I said, hey, you need to have ratings on comics, and they're like, books don't have ratings. I'm like, comics aren't books.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
I was like, look, you have television has words and pictures, you have movies that have words and pictures, you have video games has words and pictures. Comic books are words and pictures.
Words and pictures. Yeah.
You're looking at the wrong family.
Well, you've probably heard us.
Wait,
You've probably
wait,
heard
man.
us. You've probably heard us say a whole bunch. Silverline is PG-13. That's what we do. Our comics are PG-13, and we want folks to know. What's up, Pops?
And his shows are PG-13. I went out on a Silverline show really early in our association and dropped an F-bomb. And
Oh,
like,
15 times after it was over.
I'm like, where's my button? Where's my button? I got to bleep Pops.
But have I not gotten better when it comes to Silverline?
Absolutely, Pops. And the thing about it is, your show is a different kind of show, right? You have a different audience, different market. Our show is the PG-13 show, and so you were having to shift gears from your show to our show. You're like, wait, crap! Oh no, I'm not.
I think it's the funniest thing when we'll have a guest on one of the Silverline shows, and they'll just start cussing up a storm, and I'm just sitting there looking at Roland's eyes, going,
I caught it right away. See, the first time I dropped one, I watched Roland's eyes get really big, and I went, "Oh shit!" I might not have been. I shouldn't have probably said that.
So that's another one in exclamation.
Yeah. I try anytime we invite someone on. I try to let them know, hey, ours is a PG-13 show, so we can still talk about everything. Just watch choose the language carefully.
Yeah, some of the people don't care that you say that.
That's true. Some of them don't.
I did want to pop in though and say hi to you guys, and campaign's looking good. Congrats on getting funded, and
thank you.
RJ, did you want me to put their trailer in your studio?
Didn't I just play it?
He did play it.
Do you have it? Okay. I didn't know if you had it or not.
I played it from the YouTube. I didn't have it in the studio.
Oh.
Okay, well that's what I mean. I can put it in your studio, so you can just play it anytime without looking for it if you want. If you'd like.
Times tonight.
We're gonna be done in 13 days.
13.
Yeah.
That means I can play it like 25 times between now and then. See,
dude, I'm not going to have 25 shows between now and then. I have been cutting way back.
I know it only takes one though, RJ. It just takes one show, one backer.
Oh man,
absolutely right.
That's all.
Yep.
I mean, I just did a complete closeout for Perfect 10's hardcover. With
thank you.
With our boy Dave. Yeah. We just did the closeout for that. Now, we didn't get any backers during the closeout, but during the day, we'd been posting about it, and he got like 10 backers today, the final day of it.
Nice.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is the one and only copy of it right now.
Yes.
This is the color pages that got added.
That's the one I get.
Yeah. It might be. No. This is not the 80 page one. This is the 130 page one. This is the one where we even did color on the artist edition side, where it's colored on the text. The text is red. The notes are blue. The pencils are in one color.
That's the one. That's the proof edition. That's the one. That's the one I want. Yeah.
This the proof edition.
He'll be swinging by later to pick that one up.
Right.
Just make sure you have it sitting outside the front door.
RJ has been really, really good to me. I mean, Roland knows. Just about the same time I met Roland, I met RJ 4 or 5 years ago. And been promoting what both of them do ever since.
Yeah.
And,
we appreciate you, Pops. How do you do that on there?
I appreciate you guys.
I get this because George said the campaign's almost over in 2 weeks. We got the book, upload it, and get a copy so you can show it on streams. I just got the copy yesterday.
It's over.
And as the copy comes in, Dave says, okay, here are all the line edits from the editor of things we have to change.
Oh, so it's not even.
There is no other book like this one.
And we're taking 50 pages out, too.
That's the one I want. RJ knows. That's the one I want.
If anything, he'd be putting pages in. So,
Wayne, I sent you a DM over there on Twitter. I just want you to know.
I got a DM from you on Facebook, said jump in here, and I was like, well, that was 3 hours ago, so I don't know.
That was during the closeout for Perfect 10. I was trying to get you to come out and say hi. Like a surprise for Dave.
I would have loved to have done it, but
You know.
I tell you, I'm going to keep this one in our library of things to show off, but I don't need 2 of them. So that 80-page one that there's really nothing like, I'll see that you get that, man.
I know, brother. I know. And I will let you get back to it. You guys go back, Silverline. The team up. Go back it.
Thanks, Pops.
Just go back it.
Just do it.
At least go look at it. Look at it.
Just back it already.
Yeah, Crown telling me to shut up. See that? Yeah, just go back it, or you don't even have to back it. Look at it. If you like it, back it. If you got a friend that you think would like it, share it with them. Let them know.
Yeah.
Spread the freaking word, man. That's the only way we grow in indie comics, yo.
You know, and also, Pops, one of the things that we're kind of, proud of and fond of saying is that this is our 30th crowdfunder. We have successfully fulfilled all the previous ones 100% on time.
Yep.
On time. So I know there's a lot of people out there still waiting for crowdfunders, including me.
Me
right?
too.
This is the thing
I
I'll
consider
say
those donations now. I'm not really considering them.
See, I waited for one for so long that when it finally got here, I just auctioned it off in the Gemini.
Wow.
It came in and went right in the garbage.
Yeah. Well, that won't happen. That won't happen with ours, right?
I'm just saying, it's like
I'm saying, you might auction it, but what I'm saying is that
I wouldn't do that to a Silverline book. I would never do that to a Silverline book.
Well, I appreciate it, Pops. So
we're about $50 away from the first.
We are from the first stretch goal.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna get out the way and let you guys shield. RJ, need to talk to you in the near future, bud. So
yes,
put an hour aside for me, brother.
Okay, we can do that.
Oh, you're in trouble, RJ.
No, it's all action. It's all action. He knows what's up.
No.
It's gratuitous.
It's that book is what it is. He wants you
we got to grow. We all got to grow. That's what this is about. He knows.
Yep.
Silverline, the longest running show on the Madness Network.
Yeah. Oh, hey, that's something we can add now, Tommy. The longest running show on the Madness Network.
Does it?
Other than our actual shows,
the fact that we do like 5 shows a week because we're kind of cheating a little bit.
We do 3.
Oh, okay, 3 shows a week.
He used to be putting up all them replays every night. That was like, holy hell,
Those counted, right?
Yeah. Well, and we talked about it. Of course, I kind of had to cool things a little bit when
but once you got caught up to where you were at live, though, that's fine. That's well, everything you've done is on the network now. So.
And I'm actually okay, because I kind of like the idea. For me, it's kind of the idea. What is it called when TV shows go into reruns? Syndication. Yeah, I kind of like that idea. Is that okay? Well, so the next time we do them, we might run them at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. instead, right? Look for another time spot and
next
just
time
start running them.
Hopefully next time they'll be on Roku. Every episode from beginning to present.
That would be great to put on the Roku channel.
Yeah.
I watch the Madness on my Roku. I don't have the Roku channel. I mean, I just go to YouTube and watch it. But
yeah.
We'll get there, guys. We're working.
That's right. Well, we're with you, Pops. Keep on plugging, man.
We're about 1/3 of the way through the funding for the legal groundwork. So we're getting there, guys. So
nice.
Appreciate all of you. Y'all have a great night.
Thank you, Pops.
Out of here. Out of here.
He's like, push the button. Push the button.
Get me out. Where's the button?
He's like, I'm out. Push the button. I'm out.
I wasn't going to kick him. He had to kick himself. He can get in here.
He's got super admin in control. He can kick himself out of the.
Yeah, he actually can. But I'm still here.
I'm still here.
He didn't go anywhere.
This is weird timing because it's like I hadn't seen you guys in a long time, and then I'm on Facebook the other day and somebody puts up a stupid meme, absolutely nothing to do with comics, and it says, you can judge how crazy a woman is by the number of A's in her name. I said, I'm tagging Barbara Kailberg in here for no absolute reason.
Oh no!
Super crazy.
She never responded. I don't.
Oh I'll have to drop her a line and see if she caught that.
But it was like first thing that crossed my mind was like, Barb, where are you? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh crap!
Yeah. I've thought
So-
about you've seen that that German blah 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 thing going around on TikTok, right? I can't even do it. And the translation is Barbara's something rhubarb, right? And I've been thinking I should send this to Barb, but I haven't done it.
Oh, she's missing it. So we have a campaign here, guys. We're actually talking about. We're halfway in the show here. It's your Silverline team up, which that logo looks hauntingly familiar.
Yeah.
Where did we get that from?
That's a Mike Belcher. That's a Mike
I
Belcher
know.
special. Yep. Yeah, and the funny thing is, I was just asking him to do Miss Fury, right? Because I think we'd had Champion or maybe he did come up with Champion recently, but I was asking him to do it because I was telling him kind of what I wanted to do with it. But then
originally it was called Champion
Champ Fury.
Champ Fury is what I abbreviated it to.
And
that's what
so,
I know it is.
Mike Fury, and then you started getting hungry for Mexican desserts, and
well, Mike took the cover, and then he in jest, right? He sent me a mock-up that had Silverline team up featuring Champion and Miss Fury, and I'm like, I kind of like that. I'm like, that's kind of cool. So I wasn't sure whether Pete and Tommy and Roberta would like it, but I posted it in our group, and I said, hey man, look what Mike did. What do you think about this? They were all on board, so I'm like, well, there's our title. There it is.
Yeah, and,
so
next be like Silverline 2-on-1 or
yep. So here's the here we go. Look how gorgeous,
shiny
that thing is. Yeah, this is my mock-up for the cover for number 2, and the only way to get this cover right here is to back this campaign.
Yep.
That's the only way. Look how beautiful that is. Look how
you can
gorgeous.
blind somebody across the yard.
Yeah. I mean, it's just fantastic. I absolutely love this cover. So yeah, so that's the first one. That's the reward that you're looking at right there. The contribute rewards. Yep, that's it right there. Yep. So
if we get 50 of those, that's all we're gonna. Well, we'll print a couple for us. But
I was gonna say
we're not doing anymore.
However many backers we get, add about 10 to it because we'll have 10, for the creators. But that's all we're gonna print. So like Tommy said, if we get 50 people want the foil, we're gonna print 60 of those puppies, and that's the end of it. There will be no more. So, so if you like foil, if you like exclusive stuff.
And that made a really good full cover too.
Man, that's beautiful. It's I realize I do have some bias, but I think it's probably our best looking foil to date.
I wasn't gonna say that, but yeah.
the background colors of the fire, all that's what really makes
it worked out well. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got some things that the artwork just didn't lend itself to being on foil.
Right.
And they do it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, there's all kind of options here. If you just want, you're like, hey, I don't want the foil, the one you're looking at now. I just want one of the issues. So you can go on there and you can pick either cover B or cover C. Cover B is by Dean Zachary, Thomas Florimonte, and Roberta. And then cover C is a Tommy special. It's one of his Kid Hero style, and it's colored by Roberta.
Yep.
The interiors are all the same. It's just the covers there. So you could, but that reward you're looking at there, single issue, you can go on and you can pick either B or C.
I want them both.
Yep. Now, if you want them both, so right there,
Boom.
2 issues, no foil. Right there, you go. And
wait a second. Select your choice of covers for Silverline Team at number 2 and/or Silverline. Oh, you can get number 1.
So what if we wanted all 3?
Yeah.
Do we have that option?
Here's where team up number 1 is an option. I see now.
Correct.
So the first one is you can pick B or C.
Right.
After that, you can pick B or C or number 1.
Right. Yeah. Bless you.
So I can actually get 2 Bs if I wanted.
You could get 2Bs, and you know, we had some folks do that in our last campaign. They're
or,
like,
or not 2Bs. You know, that is the question.
that is the question.
If you're a Dean Zachary fan, yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you're like, you know what? I want the foil cover, but then I also want one of the others. I don't want both of them, but I want one of the others. So you can get the foil, and then you choose: do you want B or C?
And if you don't want to upset me, make sure it's the foil in cover C.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That's
Yeah.
what you want. Well, you worked on all three of them.
Yeah, I know. So it doesn't matter to me. Get whichever one you want.
You got your check's been written. Come on.
Oh, okay. All right. I eat it all. That's fine.
And then there's the completest tier. I don't know what they're the completest tier, where you get the foil, you get cover B, and you get cover C.
But that's the one you should get.
Yes,
that's the one you should get. I mean, what are we looking at for shipping on this? Do you know? They don't calculate shipping until you're right there at the end of it. So
yeah, I want to say it's like $8.
It'd be $8 or $9 for those 3 books. Yeah, in a general.
And then you're like, hey, I'm a digital guy, or you know, hey, I don't have a whole lot of money, but I want to support you guys.
Or you're overseas and you don't want to spend $50 on shipping.
Yeah. Although we do use pirate ships, so we can get most overseas for anywhere from about $15 to $20. It's still pricey.
It is.
But by the way, Roland, we have another way of getting overseas shipping even cheaper.
Do you really?
You have nothing to do with it at all. In fact, I'm getting quite a stack over here for a couple of people. If you are overseas and you get a lot of comics, you can contact us and set up an account. And just when you back your comics, have them sent in care of us. And they'll arrive here. And then when you get a big old stack of them, we'll send them all in one box. So you can pay U.S. domestic shipping rates on your backing and then only pay international shipping one time for a big old box of comics and stuff.
That's nice. I'm you know what? After the show, let me get that information from you so that I can add it to our campaign and let them, and I'll put a link to it so that they can reach out to you if they want to do that. Yeah, that would be nice.
Now, this is something you have on all your campaigns, and I love it. All the artwork is for sale.
All kind of art.
Yeah. It does vary kind of from campaign to campaign as to what's available, but for the overwhelming majority of our campaigns, we absolutely do have some really nice original art. And that one that your cursor was just on, that's a commission. You can actually get a commission from Tommy, and you can see, look, no backers yet. What the heck?
Yeah, I know. Usually that's already full up right now. So
it's a race between you and Peter, huh?
Yeah.
Nothing for Pete either.
No, nothing for Pete. No.
We're usually
commissions.
Yeah, before the weekend, we're both usually all the spots are taken. You're asking us if we want to draw some more.
Can you do some more? Yeah, I'm usually asking, hey man, can we up these numbers? So
yeah.
So yeah, this is a great opportunity to get commissions from
and
these
it could
guys.
be anything. We hope that you will, do a Silverline thing, but we'll draw whatever you want.
Yep. I've seen Tommy draw anything from Spider-Man to Cyborg.
Star Trek characters.
Yeah.
Whatever you want.
Of all the artwork I've got, and I'm trying to tilt my camera to the point where you can see the Great Wall of Batgirl. And I got some Rich, I got Rich Parada stuff. I couldn't get his name out of my mouth. Too many syllables, Rich. I got 2 Rich Paradas. I've got 2 George Peter Gatsis. I've got a Ryan Wynn in the middle. I've got a Rini Strakowski. And then some other folks here that I can't remember their names because they're not in indie comics much anymore. They're more convention people. Of course, Brian and Brendan Frame, who do the starring Sonia Devereaux series. They did me a commission sketch. But the reason I say that is the one thing I don't have is I don't have any original penciled pages of anybody's art.
Those are getting harder to find, because
there's a reason for it. It's because generally up until now there really weren't any, because you'd pass them on to the inker. The inker would ink over them, but because we do everything digitally or through the internet and stuff, even if I do ink something traditionally, Peter will pencil it and just send me a scan, of the
Mhm.
pencils, and then I'll shoot it out on Blue Line and ink it there. So that's why there's so many
And
pencil
RJ,
pages.
those are killer prices for original art, man. And Tommy can back me up here. Pete's gonna take off like a rocket, man. He's got he's so much talent, so skilled. He just gotta get a few more miles under his belt, but he's gonna take off. And then all these people are gonna say, I had the opportunity. What's that? Yeah, that's the cover.
Yeah, that's the cover. It's I inked it on paper, so that way it's on Bristol, 11x17 Bristol. It's
now you've stepped into controversy land here, Tommy.
Oh
Okay.
no.
And I'm curious about your takes on this, because I was in an auction once, an online auction, comic art, and the guy was saying, "Hey, here are my inks over this penciler. I ink over this penciler all the time. A bunch of comics out there," and it came up mid-bid. Are you inking over his pencils, or are you inking over a scan of his blue lines? And it was a scan of the blue lines. And suddenly it was like, well, it's not nearly as important.
I know. I don't understand. I get it, but I'm as the inker, I'm erasing his pencils.
Yeah, all the pencils are gone anyway.
The pencils are gone at that point that I've inked it. Because
they want to know that Raphael touched the paper.
I guess we could just have Pete just slobber all over the ink things if that's what's
you need his DNA on there.
I know. Yeah, I hear that every now and again, and I'm like, well, whatever.
Yeah.
What can I do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It if anything, it means that there's at least 2 copies of it.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what we've always said. It's like, look, you can get both the original pencils and the original inks. You can get 2 pieces of original art from this one printed work.
I get their point, but it's still the same pencils.
You just didn't have to erase.
Yeah, I didn't have to erase anything this time. Yeah, I'm if people are getting upset, I'm destroying the pencils. Because I'm erasing it, because you got to erase it. Unlike the blue, where you
I can remember when I was roommates with Stephen Butler, and he was inking something, and he said, "Hey, Roland, will you erase these pencils?" And of course, he handed me the artwork, and I commenced to erase it. And he's like, "Not so hard. You're going to take off my ink.
You're going to erase the inks in the process. Yeah, you have to do it soft."
Yeah. So I had to lighten up, but I was really erasing, to get, because you don't want the pencils to show up, because if you scan it, it ends up as a dirty scan, right? Because
then you got some more editing to do,
and then you got to go in and clean all that up. So you want all if you're inking over original on top of the pencils, you got to erase all of those pencils.
Remember, it used to be the blue lines, because blue wouldn't get picked up by the copier.
It was the non-repo blue. Yeah. But I've been inking since early 90s. I can tell you maybe 1 or 2 people that every now and again I would get blue line pencils. They were all in lead. There was very little blue line. The artists, the pencilers, necessarily want to draw in blue.
So you probably remember. So Mitch Bird, who did the original run of Cat and Mouse, he would sometimes use a blue pencil to do layouts.
Oh yeah, to do some layouts in the blue, and
then inkers like Tommy were like, "Man, I hate that," and because I didn't understand, because I kind of thought it was kind of cool. It was kind of cool to see Mitch do all this and just get basic shapes down, right, with the blue. But what happened, and I think Stephen might have been the one that told me this, he says the problem with the blue pencils is it leaves a waxy residue on the paper.
There's 2 kind of blue pencils. Yeah, there's the one that is more of the crayon-y kind of blue, and then there is a blue that's more lead based.
Yeah,
that'll erase just like a lead pencil.
And I guess Mitch used to use the waxy kind, because apparently
crayons to draw.
If you inked over it, it
wouldn't stick.
It wouldn't stick.
Yeah.
And so it was very frustrating. So
you'd have to let it really dry, and if you could get it to stick.
Yeah,
it's a mess.
So yeah,
so what do you think about digital inks or digital pencils and digital inks? Because that's pretty much what I do for everything now.
No, you can't.
You can sell it to the publisher, which is really all you care about. But
well, yeah, it's more convenient. It's not easier. It's just more convenient. But what I've been doing lately, and Roland has seen me doing this at shows. I now sell official poster inks of the prints of inks. Yeah, and then I've got a little label on it that making sure that the person that buying them, and I sell them real cheap. Sell them like $5, $6, $10. Oh, Roland left us.
Yeah,
but so that way the penciler would or the fan would know that these aren't original on board. These aren't the original. These are prints, and then I can just sell those for So you don't have them on board.
Like I've got framed over here. My Batgirl wall is over there.
Yes.
My flash wall is over here, where I have a little plaque of Showcase, number 4. I have my Jay Garrick helmet that I homemade. It's a metal helmet with the wings and everything, and it's hanging on a hook against the wall.
Oh, yeah, there you got it. I didn't realize you had. I thought it was sitting on my shelf at the office.
Yeah. So this is the original that we're talking about. See, it's even Tommy's Peter Clinton, Thomas Florimonte's got the cover, and I mean that. Look, you can see that's ink right there. That's original stuff.
Yes.
So.
But from Tommy's perspective, you know what he's got doing it digitally that you can't do physically. Control Z.
Yeah.
Well, didn't mean to do that.
I always tried to make it so that I would never use whiteout on stuff. So I got to the point where I wasn't really needing to Control Z even on paper. I was getting pretty decent with my lines, but and it's not any easier to ink digitally, except for, like you're saying, Control Z. But it's more convenient for me. I guess if I went back into illustrating comics full time again, then I would go back to doing it on paper. But because I have a full-time job, kablam, and I have to ink when I have time, it's just more convenient for me to do it digitally. But I could just ink wherever I'm at. I
can't draw it all, but I would think there'd be a textural difference. For me, it's like reading a physical book and reading a PDF. There's a textural difference to me that I like writing by hand. I write a lot of manuscripts by hand because it slows me down and makes me think about what I'm going to put down.
To be honest, that's not because don't tell anybody. I get some of the pencilers that I'm inking over. They're going, Thomas, are you going to ink this digitally or on paper? And then I'm like, well, what do you want me? And they say, well, let's do it digitally. We like your digital inks more than your pencil on paper inks. I'm like, really? And they go, yeah. For some reason, maybe it's because I'm getting older and I'm a little more shaky. I don't know. But
RJ, one of the things that Tommy and I talked about when we this goes back sometime when we started doing all the crowdfunders, and he was making that hard shift to digital. I was like, and he and I had this conversation like, well, the problem with digital is we don't have any originals to sell, and so ultimately what we decided and what we talked about is like Tommy's like, okay, well look, I'll do all the covers, I'll ink all the covers on paper so that we'll have that original that we can use for the crowdfunder. He goes, and then we'll pick out 2 to 5 pages, something like that, from the interior that we like, and we think people would be interested in owning. Because not everybody wants to own every single page of characters walking down the street. I remember Jerry Bingham talking to me one time about selling his Batman pages, and he's like, "Yeah, no one wants to see Commissioner Gordon sitting in the office, right? They want to see Batman." So we pick out pages from the interior that were like, hey, you know what? We think people might like this page of original art because it's got a big panel here, right? And then some insets. I'm backwards, right? Some insets. And this, of course, is a splash page. So we're like, people will probably be interested in something like this where they won't be interested in every single page. So we try to. So Tommy and I.
We had a compromise.
Yeah. So Tommy and I will kind of go through the book and say, "Hey, what about this page? And what about this page?" And I remember last issue, I think it was. I say, "Oh, well, you got to do this page." He goes, "Yeah, I've already started on that one."
But you know what? You can't get anymore that you could get in the old days. You could get original comic art pages with the panels lettered.
That's true. That is true.
I've actually found a whole stash of my Malibu Ultraverse things, and a lot of them are lettered on the boards. I'm gonna put them up for sale pretty quick here.
Yeah, you should, because all the lettering's done digitally now. It's an afterthought.
You're right. Yeah, I met somebody. Oh, this goes back about a year ago. I met somebody that said that they were having their work lettered traditionally, and I said, on the paper. And they're like, yeah. I said, well, here's my problem with that today, right? And I love traditional letterings, but here my problem with that today is that you can't. Let's assume, right? I'm always the kind of guy that's dreaming big, right? Well, what happens if a Mexican publisher contacts you and says, "Hey, we want to translate this and put it into Spanish in Mexico"? He goes, "Well, then they can do what they always did. They can erase the text in the balloons and reletter it." I'm like, "Yeah, but languages aren't the same. It'd be just."
Andy's come on. All right, now we can talk bad about him all right.
It's just him. Internet's dead in Florida.
No, I know what he was going to say. It's sometimes the word balloons, in a different language may need a whole bunch more word balloons for the same amount of space. We can see you, Roland.
Okay, I'm back, huh?
You're back.
I was sitting here talking away, and you're like, "Oh, and he's gone." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm right here."
No, you roboted, and then you froze, and you were gone.
Yeah, that's right. Mr. Roboto going on.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. If someone wants to print them in a different language, you can just hand them the artwork, and then they can letter on top of it without having to worry about fitting their text into your little balloons.
This commission is so freaking cheap. This is cheaper than what I would.
I'm telling you, these are fantastic deals for the original artwork, for the commission. These guys are all. I think they're awful generous. Trying to get folks to back our project, and so yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we've recently made the move to fund my comic, and talking to Luke. I'm like, dude, that's like, I mean, it sounds to me like that's our people, because he's like, yeah, the people who are on Fund My Comic, they're comic book fans, they love comics, and I'm like, yeah, that's us, that's who we need to be. And so I'm like, how do we get them to know that we're here?
Yeah, you got to get the foot traffic in there now, because it's great for the creators. I mean, you got that lower percentage going to the Stripe and everything.
You have to keep more of the money. Yeah.
So we just there's room for improvement as a fulfillment service. I'm like, okay, this is a Fund My Comic one. I know what I've got to do.
Yes.
I've got to put a little bit more work into it, but that's all on the. I know that's on the shelf for getting.
I'm thinking all they really to I think that one little step would be to add like an add-on thing, like Kickstarter does.
Yeah.
I think, and then it would
add-on, and then inventory. Inventory has to be added on there, because right now, the okay, so if you go to Pink and Green, all those other ones, you download your data, and it's like, hey, this person ordered this and this and this and this and this under this reward tier. When you get it from Fund My Comic, they're like, they ordered this reward tier. And I have to go, okay, well, what's in it? And I've got to go back to the campaign. I'm like, okay, that reward tier says they get this and this and this. And this.
Oh, see, I've not even seen all inventory. That.
Huh.
It's an extra step.
Yeah. So we try to, in ours, as you can see there, we try to list them. So when you see what the reward is, there's a little bullet. Here's what you're getting. So RJ, I'm going to, just for your live stream, I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to make an offer. Tommy, you might not hear this. Anyone who decides to back at any physical level right now, just put when you back on Fund My Comic, there's a place for a note.
What's the secret word? What's the secret word?
But just type in Critical Blast, right? And I will toss in a free Silverline comic of your choice. It could even be Silverline Team Up #1, right? If you don't have it, I will toss in a free Silverline comic of your choice. Not the foils, right? Those are because I don't have any of those, right? Because we just print for the orders. But if you're like, hey, I saw you guys talking about Cray earlier, right? Or I saw you talking about Divinity, right? Or I saw you talking about Cat and Mouse, something like that. Whatever, right? I'll supply you with a list if you need a list. Anyone who backs right now, who's listening to RJ and Critical Blast, just back, and then in the note section, just write Critical Blast, and then I'll follow up with you to see what you want. Yep.
There you go.
And I'll toss in
Kalis. You want Kalis?
Kalis, yeah, Kalis is popular, absolutely, yeah. So any Silverline comic, we got a couple of trades, so not the trades, but just the regular comic. I'll toss that in for free.
And maybe not any of the Champ Fury #2s.
No, yeah, no. I mean, that's what
The current
you're
one.
pledging on that, right?
That's right. Well, they may do the digital thing and then say that they want one of the.
It has to be
But that's
physical.
why you got to back physical.
It has to be physical.
All right.
Yeah, it has to be
So
physical.
we got 27 backers right now. That hasn't changed yet. Somebody go
Yep.
into Fund My Comic and make that change. Give us a number.
We'd love to see us get to 30 by the time
I'd
we're
love to get to 300. Come on.
Wow, yeah, 300. Look, RJ,
Okay,
listen.
shameless, selfless plug here.
Well,
I got the Silverline book.
I keep telling everybody we need to get this number up so I can pay for that new e-bike I just bought. So
There you go. Oh yeah. So I keep having Germany telling me that I should review it for my website. I'm like, okay, we'll send one. Like, oh, you're in the States. Yeah, I keep telling you I'm in the States. Like, well, we can't do that unless you pay like $1,500 shipping on me. Stop bothering me then.
Yeah. So what were you saying about the book, RJ? You started to say
What I'm
something.
saying, well, I can't say anything about this book because it doesn't exist. But I have a big fat stack of Silverline books. And if you guys liked reading comics in the 80s and the early 90s, before all the grim and gritty took over, back when it was like, I hesitate to compare it to something because the person that you're comparing to might not like being compared to that. But for me, the Silverline hero comics are a lot like the Archie Red Circle hero comics.
Interesting.
They were like, and I don't even mean when DC was doing them. Like before DC was doing them, when you had the Red Circle imprint, and this was late 80s when they were doing when the Fly was a grown up, was still a child Tommy, and then he was a grown up Tommy, and it was like this was Captain Marvel who would just say the Fly, and he'd turn into the Fly.
Yeah,
but he would do it as a kid, and then when he was a grown man, he was still doing it. I'm like, that's something that hasn't been done before,
right?
Because it predated Kingdom Come. The Jaguar, the Shield. Private Life of Lancelot Strong. All those books, very condensed storytelling. Usually, you got a story in an issue with a cliffhanger to go to the next issue, but you got the story, and it was fun. And you wanted to know more about the characters. That's what I get from the Silverline books when I read them.
It's funny because we had someone did a review of Trump's, because Trump's has been in Diamond and stores down with Kalis, and I didn't really listen to the entire first half of it because they reviewed another book before they reviewed Trump's, and I just really really went through that one, but they didn't like that one very much, and apparently it didn't have much substance. And when he got to Trump's, he's like, this one, on the other hand, has a lot of substance. In fact, it's packed with story, and I'm like, okay, well, that's a good thing, right? Because you want your comic to have, and it was a very positive review. I wish I could remember the guy's name, but it was a very, very positive review, and I was happy to see it. But it was one of the things that it kind of made me chuckle a little bit, is that the other one that he reviewed didn't really have anything. So
can we do a little screen share of issue 2 so that
of course,
is that okay?
Absolutely, you certainly can. Let me.
Can you do that, Roland?
I can.
Somebody share it.
Just a second here.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Now, don't show the ending like you did the other day.
I kind of scrolled through the whole thing, didn't I?
Yes.
People were going screen share, screenshot, 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 screenshot. Got the book.
Well, I did try to some of it. I tried to take my time with the first part of it, because the first few pages. Everybody, when you're doing a preview, that's kind of what everyone shows, right? The first pages, so that you can see those.
Well, while you're pulling that up, how do we get it? How does it lead into issue 2? While you're pulling that up, or can you not click and talk at the same time?
I can't click and talk at the same time. What's your question? How does it what?
How does number 2 start? How are we getting into 2? What happened in number 1 that we're getting into number 2? So when
previously on Silverline Team Up.
Right. So what happens is
you can't click and talk at the same time.
So what happened in number 1 is that Champion and Miss Fury are both coming to New Orleans for 2 completely different reasons.
Separately, they don't know each other.
Separately, they do not know each other. Miss Fury is making a permanent move, and Champion is coming with his doctor buddy. Right, they're just going to visit New Orleans. And
going to Bourbon Street, of course.
Going to Bourbon Street, of course. And folks are after Champion, right? There's some guys who are after Champion.
And done something that
we've seen in issue 1 is it starts off like, hey, the boss wants to see you, and Champion's like, I'm not going to do anything, right? So these guys are following Champion around everywhere he goes because they keep telling the boss wants to see you, the boss wants to see you, and so that's these two bozos you see on the screen right here. That's them right there, and you can see they've knocked Champion out. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, RJ.
I got to call time out here before Mike Walters leaves the chat here, but the Champion and the Doctor, we've been reading Golden Age comics over on Mike Walters' channel, the Mike Stand, every Friday night, and there is a Golden Age character called the Champ, who basically had a Captain America sort of origin. The Doctor has given him, these vitamins, and now he's like good at everything, and that's his name, the Champ. He has no costume. He just, is like, hey, there's the Champ. He's great at football. He's great at baseball, and he's great at hunting down criminals who do bad things. Is this the same Champ? Is this the Champion? Okay.
No. And now Miss Fury is, of course, the public domain character, but right. But no, that is not this Champion. Began in volume 1 of Cat and Mouse. And he was initially called the Chicago Champion because he was a firefighter. And he was part of the reason they did it is because he went into a burning building and saved a whole bunch of people. But he had a mask on because, it was fire. It was a burning building. Yeah. He had a mask on, and they just called him the Chicago Champion. And so he began to, after that, he began to realize, hey, I can do some good. And people don't have to know who I am. And I don't have to worry about all the media and all that kind of stuff. One thing to another, and then you don't have to know all that to enjoy this story, though. That's kind of the point of that, is that he has been around for the Silverline world since 91, I guess that was.
Yeah.
I think his first appearance was in Cat and Mouse number 2, I think, maybe 3. I'd have to go back and look. But he appeared
in Demon Tales.
He appeared in Demon's Tales, right? Because part of what he was set upon, they said, hey, we need you to go track down Cat and Mouse because they're villains, and we need you to bring it. He goes, okay, villains shouldn't be. I can do that. I can go track down villains, right? And so he goes there. He gets caught up with Demon, who he assumes is Cat because he looks, furry, and of course, Demon is not Cat, so they have that. But they get in this little adventure together, and he appears briefly in the Silver Storm miniseries. So he's been to New Orleans before. This is not the first time he's been to New Orleans, but he's going here with his buddy. And this page here, right? This is from issue number 1, but this is when he's the doctor guy sent him to a engineer, and they tried to equip him with all kinds of special equipment and everything. This is kind of our little homage and nod to the '90s comics, right?
Yeah,
but
when Champion got cable.
Yes, yes. So he goes into his first fight with all this stuff on, and he gets beat, right? And so this is page 1 then of issue 2, and you can see here he's unconscious. They're looking for him on the ground, right? But Miss Fury happens along at the end of the fight, sees what happens, and so she's attempting to rescue him while these bozos are looking for him. But as you can see, she bumps into somebody. I can't. I'm trying to do my wheel over here on the screen, but it's not going to do that there, right? And then, of course, she bumps into this guy here, who is Demon, who also appeared in the first pages of Cat and Mouse. So and
a special appearance.
Yes, a special appearance in this issue, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing? I know that guy. Did you knock him out?" Right. So we've got a little bit of a misunderstanding here for them. But one of the things I didn't want to do, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to go with the traditional, these two heroes meet for the first time and fight. I thought about it. I did. But I'm like, no, instead, they're going to be more concerned about Champion because he's knocked out. And of course, Demon knows Champion. So he's kind of like, hey, what'd you do? And notice right here, she says, wasn't me. Right. And so we find out.
I see the two guys down there and they go, oh, they're the ones that have
it's these two jokers on the ground. And so then, of course, right, one of the guys starts climbing up and sees Demon and he falls. And then, of course, now we're going to have a Demon and Miss Fury versus these two jokers here.
Okay,
right?
So this begs the question then.
Okay.
Why is the book called Champion and Miss Fury?
Well, because it is Champion and Miss Fury's story. As we go along, he's just Champion's in it. He's just knocked out. See,
so the book is really called Silverline Team Up, Champion and Miss Fury.
Yeah, it's Silverline Team Up and Champion
just
and Miss Fury.
starring the Demon.
Yeah.
So it's not like Brave and Bold, where it's like the characters change in between issues and the title would change.
Well, no, we actually are going to. Now, it didn't start off this way. Let me say that. But as it went, we've decided we are going to do Silverline Team Up featuring, I think one of the ones we're working on is Tempest and Miss Fury, I think. Yeah. Okay. Tempest is one of the characters from Silverstorm. So yeah, we've decided we are going to do some Silverline Team Ups with characters from the world.
My Silverline Omniversal Crisis event is still out there on the table for you guys.
There you go.
Yeah. So Demon is just kind of, it is Champion and Miss Fury, but Demon kind of co-stars in this one. And I will tell you, I'll give you a secret probably that no one knows yet. There will be a different co-star in the next in issue 3. Right, it's still going to be Champion and Miss Fury. It's still their story, but they're also going to have a co-star in number 3.
Yeah, Demon doesn't. He's not going to be. It's a 4-parter, right? So Demon is he made his appearance. He's in and he's out. Yeah,
he collected his check.
And yep, that's right.
The trademark is good for another so many.
That's right.
That's it.
Yeah,
that was a Fred Hembeck strip when he did a Hembeck strip for Marvel with Brother Voodoo in it. Like, hey, I haven't seen you for a while. It's like, yeah, I'm just passing through. Why? Well, because the trademark is going to come due, and I have to show use. Yeah. So his use was in a Fred Hembeck strip.
And these beautiful colors by Roberta.
Roberta is just awesome.
Again, the quality on Silverline books, guys, is just top notch for comics.
And of course, here's Champ. Right, so the
he wakes it up and he walks away while they're still fighting the other people. It's pretty funny.
So it is.
He didn't join in the fight. He's like, I'm going home.
He's like, forget this mess.
Yeah,
I got beat up.
I got beat up. I'm going home. They dropped a water tower on my head.
Yeah, I'm done.
Now, one of the things I used to love about the Brave and the Bold series specifically was that this was before previews. So you didn't know what was going to be out next month, let alone 3 months in advance.
Yeah.
So you just, but for a long time of runs, they wouldn't say next issue, Batman meets Green Arrow. But somewhere in the story, they would have a green arrow sticking out of a trash can in an alley, and it was an Easter egg hunt.
Yes.
To find the clue to tell you who next month's villain or guest star was going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so like I said, it didn't start off to be that kind of thing, but after we did this, I decided that I really liked that idea of a Silverline team up. And it's a great way to introduce new characters to folks who might only be familiar with Cat and Mouse. They're like, hey, we know Cat and Mouse, but I don't know, Miss Fury, right? For those of you who don't know, so Miss Fury is a public domain character now. She was created in the 1940s, the first character created by a female comic creator.
Predates Catwoman.
Predates Catwoman, right? Everyone, people who look at this say, "Oh, it's just a Catwoman knockoff." I'm like, well, no, Catwoman is a knockoff of Miss Fury. So in 91, I did a miniseries with Malibu Comics, Miss Fury. To my knowledge, that is the first time Miss Fury was seen in print since the 1940s. And I don't mean just a reprint of her 40s stuff, but that was the first time.
First news story.
Yep. And she wasn't public domain yet in 90s. The Malibu had the rights to do it. Now she's in public domain, and you can see her in several others. I know Billy Tucci did one, and
Dynamite. I think
Dynamite did a not PG-13 version of it.
Right. A little dirty.
Yeah.
Well, Tarpe Mills's work on it was not exactly PG-13 either.
Well, yeah, it was because it was in the newspapers.
It was in the newspapers, but
it was risque, but it was PG-13. Because again, there was newspaper strips, right? And a lot of people don't realize that the strip was initially called Black Fury, but then she changed the name from Black Fury to Miss Fury. And so what I did in the miniseries is we had a Black Fury and a Miss Fury, and they ended up fighting each other. So it was sisters. So if anybody's a lawyer and listening to this right now, close your ears. This is not meant for you. So obviously Miss Fury, right, from the 1940s is public domain, but the Miss Fury miniseries that I did for Malibu is owned by Marvel, right? So Marvel bought Malibu lock, stock, and barrel, and Malibu owned. Now they didn't buy the creator-owned content, right? Because that was creator-owned, so they couldn't buy that. But the stuff that Malibu owned, they bought. Miss Fury was one of those protectors. Dinosaurs for Hire was a Tom Mason thing, so they didn't buy that, right? So I can reference the 1940s stuff, but legally I can't really reference or I can't use anything from the 1990s. But I'm being sneaky. So if you did read the 90s stuff, eventually it'll become clear. You won't see it. You'll read this the first and second issues, and you're like, yeah, I don't see how the 90s. You might. I've dropped a couple of lines in as hints, but I just kind of want to hint to it. I don't. I mean, it was only 4-issue miniseries, right? So it's not like.
But like if you'd given her a Fury Mobile that she'd never had before, now you got to wait 70 years to use the Fury Mobile.
Correct. Yeah. Yes. Right. Yeah. So So I wanted to do that in this because I had so much fun with Miss Fury, but yeah, we enjoyed it. I think it's a great looking story. I think Pete and Tommy and Roberta have just made this thing sing. It's a beautiful, beautiful book.
People watching, the link, if you're on YouTube right now, the link is right below the video. It's in first thing in the description, so hit that up. If you're watching it on Twitter, which I think a majority of you are, you can go to Fund My Comic, probably just do a search on Silverline Team Up.
Or you know what?
Pause. And just...
The last time I looked, we were. You go to Fund My Comic, we were the second or third one project listed. We were on the front page.
Makes it easy.
So yeah,
easy.
Yeah.
And remember, what's the keyword to put in there? And
Critical Blast.
Critical Blast, and get a free Silverline comic of your choice from a limited selection.
Yes,
Yeah.
with,
well,
with reasonable applications.
yes,
That's right.
yeah.
It's like, I talk with Michael Tierney all the time, and he always tells the story, free comic book day. Still people come in, think they can just point to a comic and a thing on the wall, and they're like, I want that one.
It's like,
That's
no,
not how
that's
it
not
works.
the way it works. Yeah. And the other thing about free comic book day that a lot of people don't realize is that the retailers, they're not free. The retailers had to buy them. Now they're deeply discounted, right? But the retailers still have to spend money to put those free comic books on the table for you.
Yep.
So it's free to the fans, but not to anybody. And the publishers, all the publishers who participate, still have to pay to get them
Still pay
printed.
the artists to do all the work and the writers.
Yep.
And yeah.
So
who's making money on this? Diamond.
So yeah, it's one of those things that a lot of folks don't realize. I love this image right here of Mouse, not Mouse, Miss Fury.
Now,
One
Miss
of the,
Fury and Mouse versus Mouse would be a fun story.
don't tell anybody what I'm working on yet.
Okay.
Notice that she's got Fury on the bottom of her shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's like the Phantom's ring. You get kicked with it. Now,
Yeah.
does she have it printed backwards on her shoes?
No, I was thinking the same thing when I was inking it. I was like, if she stomps on the ground, how's that gonna?
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Well,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. It's
Yeah,
funny.
It still looks cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
When I first
But,
when I
if you left
first
a
saw
bruise
it,
on
Roland,
somebody's face, it would be.
I didn't tell you this when I was inking it and I first saw that he wrote it. I'm like, did Pete just sneak in a dirty word on the bottom of her shoe?
Oh.
And then I saw it several other times. I'm like, oh no, it says Fury. It doesn't say
I know where the word balloons fall.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what is Pete trying to get me to ink something? What is he trying to do?
That's funny. Well, it's funny because I didn't even notice it until he pointed it out to me. And I'm like, oh, I see it. Yeah. I hadn't even seen it. I hadn't even noticed it.
And I'm like, if it says the word that I'm referring to on one shoe, what does the other foot say? You?
You.
You.
Yeah.
These boots were made for kicking.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So one of the things that you said, which I appreciate, you talked about, you made you think. Yeah, it's funny because I've had people read some of my stuff and they say, "Yo, it's like a throwback to the '90s," and I'm like, "Well, okay, I'm not intentionally trying to throw back to the '90s, right?" But
when I say the '90s, I don't mean the Rob Liefeld.
Yeah. I didn't take anything you said in a negative way at all. Just so you know.
I was 90s indies, and Image was an indie, and Malibu sort of transitioned Image into being a self-sustaining entity. Thank you, Malibu.
But for me, what I like to think of is that it's more of a Bronze Age mentality with modern day sensibilities, right? Because
yes.
I am a child of the Bronze Age, right? I love comics, 70s and 80s. That was my generation. I like the 60s, but those were always back issues for me, and the language was a little dated. Everybody was hip, cool, daddy-o, and flower power and all that kind of stuff. So I like it and all that, but my comics were 70s and 80s. So I like to think what I do has that 70s and the 80s spirit, but we have a modern sensibilities in the art and stuff that we do.
Yeah. These are fun books. It's all the only way I can describe it. They're fun books. If you just want to sit down and read a comic and you don't want to get all Alan Moore level deepness on it.
No.
That's not an insult to the writing. That's just...
No.
Sometimes when I read a comic, I just want to see two superpowered characters slam it out with each other and return the stolen loot.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because we were talking the other day, or we briefly mentioned the idea of, a comic book that had just two characters discussing like the philosophies of life. And we're like, that sounds boring.
Yeah, I'm not reading
It
that.
does not sound like a comic that I want to read.
That's Will Eisner's A Contract with God.
It's like,
That's an award-winning book.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
I guess if I was paid to draw it, then I guess I would draw it, but I'm not reading it.
Yeah. So yeah, we want to tell stories that hopefully folks will remember. And again, as the writer, my goal is to, when somebody closes the book at the very end, my hope is that they go, that was fun. I enjoyed that. I wouldn't mind reading the next issue to see where this goes.
More of this, please.
Yes. Yeah. I don't want, I'm not looking for the one that closes the book and says, oh, this thing needs an award. Nah, that's great if you think that. I just want you to say, that was fun. I enjoyed it. I want to see the next one.
Well, if you want to see this one, people, and that would be this campaign right here, click the link, go to Fund My Comic, and get your book.
Come on, you folks. This is your opportunity for a free comic, too.
That's right.
We'll toss it in. Critical Blast.
Yeah. Get a free comic with this comic by putting Critical Blast in the notes of your order. Check out the penciled pages here that you can get, the commissions. There's all kinds of really cool rewards on this one. And even though there's all kinds of cool rewards, it's not overloaded with tiers. I don't think it is. Let me get down to the bottom here. I mean, you got all these.
There's pages.
There's original art pages.
Yeah.
That's different. That's different than saying you want this and this, you want this and this and this, you want 2 of these, 3 of those, 5 of these.
We do have a couple of stretch goals worked out. We're almost at the first one. What's going to be digital books?
Let me find my list. Hold on. So our stretch goals are, we've got at $12.50, which we were almost there. All backers are going to get an Indie Comics bundle. We're going to get 12 comics. Right now, I don't have 12 comics committed to me yet. I think I have 8, but I will get 12. I'm going to get the creators to commit at least 12 comics to me. So that's 12 comics for every $100 raised. That's at $12.50, right?
Got one of my books.
Yep, got a Zomboy, which Tommy knows. I'm a big fan of Zomboy, which is one of the books that he does. At $1,500, everyone who has a physical reward, I can't do this for digital because I can't send them, right? But anyone who has a physical reward is going to get a bookmark. And we've done bookmarks in the past, and I absolutely
pretty much almost all of the Kickstarters.
Yeah.
Or the crowdfunding.
So we've done some bookmarks in the past. Like here's one that we did for Trump.
Of course. I give him the big screen, and what's he do with it? He just freezes right there on the screen. Well, let's take a good look at that bookmark for Trump. Look at that.
That was a perfect placement.
Yeah.
There it is. He's moving some more. He's moving.
Can y'all not hear me?
There, you're back.
Okay, all right. So I'm at least glad I was holding this up, so you were stuck here, right?
Yeah.
And then of course on the back of it we had this one, right? So there's one of them. We have a Kalis one here on the back. Then here, right? We've done a whole bunch of bookmarks, right? And that, of course, Demon here. You're quitting there? Sure, I'll save your place, wimp. Right. And that was then we had a Twilight Grim one, as well as on the other side was Sirens. Right. And then of course our very first bookmark was Cat and Mouse, like that. So we've done more. I just don't have them here. So we've done all kinds of bookmarks. People love bookmarks. So that is at 15. That is at $1,500. At $1,750, then we're going to put together a PDF for all levels, digitals as well. That includes the plot. We work Marvel style with this. The script. So there's two different documents. There's the plot, and then there's the script. Any of piece layouts. Yeah, a lot of kind of behind the scenes stuff, and this is going to be a PDF. And then and that's for everybody. And then at 2,000 for the physical backers, we're going to do a comic size print of that cover the one that you like so much with the fire, right?
Yeah.
We're going to do a print for that we can stick in for all of the physical backers.
Is it a metal print, holofoil, LED lit on the back?
No, no, it's just going to be a regular like a backing board size print.
Those are great though, actually.
Oh yeah, I think so.
And if you go on Amazon and just get like comic book frames, they're perfect for those things.
Yeah, absolutely.
I find frames for them until I found those, and I was like, yeah, here we go, perfect.
Yes.
One thing I don't see on this campaign that is a departure, because I've seen it on all the other ones.
Yeah.
I was looking for a Miss Fury T-shirt with the circle behind her and the nice iconic pose. And
yeah,
like that. Well, like that.
So long story short, we lost our vendor. So we are in the hunt for another vendor. I love these T-shirts. I think they've all looked great. People have seemed to, we've moved a handful of them, and folks have seemed to really enjoy them. But we lost our vendor, and so we're looking for another vendor. And if we can find one, we will add those to the campaigns again. So, but yeah,
I would say that Sticker Mule does really good shirts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're nice and soft, and the graphics are durable. They're not stiff.
Yeah. I can't remember what this process is called, but it's kind of like painted into the material.
Yeah, it's like a direct-to-garment printing thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but it's a different process than just kind of the press-on stuff,
Yeah, you can tell when you got a press-on one.
Yeah, it's a direct-to-garment.
Yeah. It and 2 washings and it's flaking. And these haven't done that. That's why we like them so much. Is it's like, I
don't know who it is, but who the vendor is. But if you know Ted Sikora, Hero Tomorrow Comics, and if you don't know him, you should look him up because he's really
I don't know him.
Book. Yeah. But I've got 2 of his T-shirts, and they are the softest T-shirts in my entire collection. And they've been washed multiple times, and red and white and yellows and all of that still vibrant colors on there. So whoever he's using, they're good.
Yeah.
We used to offer them at Kablam, and we just could not get enough people to buy them. Yeah, it was really nice. You've got some of the shirts, really nice. It was direct-to-garment printing, soft. Really, we just couldn't afford to keep the machine going.
Yeah, I used to before we found these T-shirts, I was wearing Kablam shirts all the time.
Yeah,
I was a walking billboard for Kablam.
I've got to get more Critical Blast shirts, and apparently I've got to get you some too.
Yeah.
If you're going to be a walking billboard, I want you to be walking for me sometimes. Well, that's like when I was at I told you this. I was at a Archon convention 2 years ago, and I left a campaign. I left a panel about crowdfunder campaigns, and we talked about distribution. And the guy who was on the panel with me says, "Yeah, I got a buddy who named Roland Mann." I just turned my jacket around like, "This guy right here," because I had the Silverline patch on my shoulder there. He's like, "You already know him." Like, yeah, that's right. I can't remember who it was that I was talking to now, but he had worked with you in the past.
Larry Raines, maybe?
I couldn't say. He'd been in St. Louis for a convention. So.
St. Louis. Okay, well, I don't think Larry's in Arkansas.
I haven't met anybody in Arkansas yet.
Aren't you still in Arkansas?
I am, and I've gone to some conventions here. I've even, met, if you want to call it that, William Shatner and Jonathan Frakes, and but it's like when you walk into a room and they're there, and then you're told to walk out, right, towards the Flash. You didn't really meet them,
right? Yeah. It was just a sighting, right?
Yeah, you passed by them. I saw from the back of the line what was going on. I'm like, oh no,
I'm trying to think of the folks, comic folks I know who are in Arkansas. You've got, of course, the Brightwisers.
Tim Lim and Mark Pellegrini still come up here every once in a
Tim and Mark, yeah.
I always see them at the convention. So.
And then, Jerry Bingham just moved to Arkansas about
Really?
2 years ago. Yeah. He is.
I gotta find out where he's at because I've still got my first edition hardcover Son of the Demon.
Son of the Demon, yeah. I think he went to. I don't know if he went to a show down there or not. He's down around a little south of Little Rock.
I probably wouldn't be able to get it signed because I went to. I'm not even going to say what convention it was, but I went because there was going to be a comic book person there, and he had penciled my favorite comic book of all time in the '80s. It was a special #1 for a DC hero. And I said, I'm going to get it signed. And I went to the table. I was like, nobody there. I'm like, is the artist here? He's like, that's me. I'm like, okay, I just thought you were like holding a place till he got here because there was nobody here yet. He's like, yeah, I'm not officially open, but I'll take it. I'm like, here's my book. I want to get it signed. He's like, okay, $50.
Oh my gosh.
$50, which I was like borderline prepared for because I'm like, Shatner was there. I've already paid for that. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to buy some stuff here. And then as he's signing it, he asked if I wanted a signed certificate of authenticity. I'm like, no, I don't. For an extra $5, I'm like, I won't take that second signature and put it on this book, and then I'll skip the original signature.
Oh my god!
No, I didn't say anything. It was like, I've got pictures that I share sometimes of 88, 89, 90. I'm just standing behind the table with Dick Giordano and Jim Aparo and Denny O'Neil, and I've got my hardcover Greatest Batman Stories Ever Told, which it's going in the coffin with me because it's a funeral book when you open the thing up. Sadly,
yeah,
it's signed by Dick and Julius and Denny and Jim and Sheldon and Dick Sprang.
Wow.
It's just I think the only people who are still alive who've signed it were Bob Rozakis and Steve Englehart. So,
wow.
It's filled with the signature. And it was just, that was the era. Never forget what they stole from us. That was the era then. If you saw the artist, you walked up. He said, did you sign this? And I'm like, yeah, I do.
Yeah. And a lot of times back then they would do quick little sketches for you too. But now it's like you want to sketch, you're paying, minimum $30, for a lot of these guys.
I interviewed Tom Batchick, Funky Winkerbean guy. And I met him at Union Station in St. Louis, and I had the first 3 complete volumes of Funky Winkerbean with me. And I just, had to think I was going to have him sign them for me. And he did, and he whips out a Sharpie, and he signs his name, and then he starts drawing a head sketch on the first one. And I'm like, nice. You don't pencil this. He's like, I've been drawing this for 50 years. I just do it for sleep now. And then he signs the second one and does a second head sketch. And then he signs the third one and does a third head sketch. Like, wow. Thank you, sir. And you know what? Those books are probably downstairs. They better be downstairs because if they're not, I'm going to have to go to the law again. Move. But
I don't. Some of them I don't understand exactly. How and why they do what they do. But yeah, $50 for a signature.
We became rock stars.
Yeah. Well, and I know. So I have no names, but I know that some of them got a rep, and the rep won't let them do anything without charging big bucks.
Again, they became rock stars.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
So and there's also the thing that I hear that some of the artists are creators, not artists. It could be writers too. So some of the creators have started getting a little mad that the books would then be turned around on eBay and then cranked up the price for a signature thing. And they're like, well, if they're going to get it, I'm going to go ahead and get it out of them before they turn around and sell it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's good for them. Or if you wanted to be like that, ask them their name real quick and write, hey, John.
Yeah. Well, and I have heard.
How do you do, Florimonte Thomas?
I have heard that some of them will say, if you want it personalized, like to Tommy, it's nothing. It doesn't cost you anything. Right. You want it personalized? No. To Tommy, Yeah, or you just want me to put my name on it. That's $50, right? It's because you're going to go take it to eBay and sell my signature.
You know, I remember I don't think I've gotten that big of a head yet for me to be worried about that kind of thing. If you can, turn around and sell something that I've signed for $50, let me know how you did it, because I can do a bunch of those,
right?
And I'll turn around and figure out how to.
Heritage auctions, here we come.
That's right.
I'll get one of my buddies to go on eBay and start selling them. I'll just crank them out. If you tell me how you did it.
I remember when Heritage Auctions sold a page of original art with Neil Gaiman's death in it by Colleen Duran, and it sold for let's say tens of thousands of dollars. It was just, it was an expensive piece. I might be over exaggerating it, but it was like, wow, look what this sold for. And almost immediately in social media, Colleen Duran says, "Yep, I remember selling that piece for $35 to a fan."
Yeah.
At a convention.
Yeah, we have a buddy that will send me links every now and again. He goes, "Yeah, I sold that for $80, and then there it is for $1,000 just sold." And he goes, "It's like, yeah, well, I don't know what to tell you."
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the original art thing is a little bit different because you choose when you sell. You choose what you want for it, and sometimes, like I know
you,
Tommy,
upset about it.
You're like, I got all these pages from this book X. I don't think anybody's going to want them. Here, you can all have $20 a piece, right? And you're just trying to move them, get rid of them, and when they sell, so if you see them 10 years later and they're going for $100, you're like, oh, I could have sold it for $100. Well, yeah, but you would have had to have lugged them around for 10 years.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I think you just don't worry about it, or change your practice from this point on. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I think we've exhausted the topic. Let me refresh this one more time. Please go up. Please go up. Come on, somebody give me some. Don't give me some money. It's not. I didn't go up.
RJ, Critical Blast is not getting any love tonight, man.
I know it. I'm telling you. Well, we never do.
The deal still stands, right?
We love you.
If they watch the video a little later and they can still put the Critical Blast in there, they'll still get the free copy.
Yeah.
True.
Or does it have to be just for tonight?
No.
Okay.
No, if somebody comes on and watches the stream tomorrow or the next day, I mean, it has to be while the campaign is still live.
Yeah, that's true.
So you've got 12 days.
And if it's one of the books that they asked for is one that I've done, I'll sign it for you.
Okay, cool.
There you go.
Sweet. For $50 extra?
No, freebie. Just tell me your name, so I'm going to put to George, and then
that's right.
$50 if it's just
watching.
Yeah.
All right,
let me know how you got it.
Thank you guys so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure talking with you again. I've missed talking with you guys. Sometimes I sit around and I think I'm really ready to stop the podcasting thing and just put all my time into publishing and distribution. And then, out of nowhere, Roland says, "Hey, you got time?" I'm like, "Yeah, hell yeah, I got time. Come on, let's do it."
Yeah,
we get to do some fun stuff.
We'll have to see. I may have to drop you a line, see if we can't do a monthly Silverline Critical Blast Silverline thing here.
We can definitely do that.
That would be fun.
All right, everybody in the chat, thank you guys so much for being here tonight. We don't have a show without you, so we'd just be a podcast falling in the woods somewhere. I don't know. There's an analogy in there somewhere. I've never really quite finished it out. But
if the podcast falls in the woods, is it really a podcast?
Exactly. Does anybody hear it?
If the podcast falls in the woods and no one hears it, is it really a podcast?
Exactly. Something like that.
I don't know.
We don't kill any trees, so it's like we kill a bunch of electrons.
Right.
Thank you guys for being here tonight, folks.
Thanks for having us.
You were here, of course. We just hope you had a blast. Good night.
Thanks.
Hang around, guys.